Welcome to this channel. This channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So, the goal of this channel is to provide basic educations for Chinese Kung Fu practitioner, for Wing Chun practitioner, for Qigong practitioner, for meditation practitioner. It is extremely critical to have a proper education, or else one will never be able to get result to develop Kung Fu. Now, saying that, there are many arrogant and blind people around. So there are many Wing Chuners who contacted me once in the conversations, a few chat, you will know that this person is extremely arrogant and blind. Say, for example, when people comment to me, "Oh, Hendrik, all the ancient Chinese writing and picture doesn't mean anything." That's one of the comments. So, in this real world, you cannot afford things like that. So, can one screen how much a person knows? Sure. You look at all the real sport coach, they can screen you where what you really know or not. And because of that, yesterday I shared this very long video on technology in martial arts and the details, how thing is trained, and the details of Wing Chun in 1850. So with this video, one better know what is the technology the opponent has. When you face somebody, you better know what kind of technology they have. They have machine gun, or they are using a spear, or they have a missile which can track you. Those are serious stuff. So real martial arts cannot afford blind and arrogant and belittle others. In Wing Chun, there's a bad habit for that for past many decades. But where does it go? Today, I'm going to share with you. Where does it go? Okay. How is outside the people from out there look into the pro in outside there look into you? So-called Wing Chun. Okay. Now, today I also want to share with you, why is all those ancient Chinese writing is significant and it is critical? And of course, somebody will say, well, Hendrik, this ancient writing, how can you know that it is important, blah, blah, blah? How is it real, blah, blah, blah? Very simple. Like Sun Tzu, The Art of War, it said that if you want to make a war, you better know your enemy and yourself. How can we know that that is the truth? Well, you look around today, you look in the history, isn't it true that if you want to make a war, you better know yourself and know your enemy? So all this ancient Chinese saying, ancient writing, ancient thing can be verified. Like yesterday when I make this video, you can actually verify the ancient 1850s Wing Chun with today's BJJ. Look into the technology. You can verify with today's sports science whether whatever present in the ancient have a value or not. It's very easy to check things with multiple data. Okay. Now, today I want to share with you what is those ancient Chinese writing is about. What I can tell you is that after you watch this video, you know that all those interpretations of the Chinese, the Wing Chun saying are nonsense. They are nonsense. By evidence, I want to share with you what is going on there. Okay. Now, let's start to look into one thing. Because if we want to know what is going on with Wing Chun, with the ancient, we need to know what is the Chinese culture and so forth, and how people look at you from different Chinese martial art master or the reputation master. When they wrote book, how they look at you, Wing Chun. So the first thing we need to understand Chinese culture, and then we know what is going on. So learn this. This term is called 名正言顺. 名正言顺. So 名正言顺 means be right and proper. Okay? Be perfectly justifiable. Come within one's jurisdictions, right title and proper words. Things called by their right names. Thus, things called by their right names and right title and proper word is really, really critical in Chinese culture, in Chinese society. So, if a person is called, do not have the right titles, it is like a bastard. So another word is, if you don't have the right title in a family, you better shut up. Because whatever you say is not the proper words. So when you call somebody that this is not the 名正言顺 or not the right titles and proper words, you are actually saying that this thing is like a bastard stuff. This thing is just a fake. Now let me share with you one thing. Let's get into Wing Chun. How other people look at Wing Chun in Asia. This is a page in a book written by a famous, very famous Chinese Kung Fu master, well-known Chinese Kung Fu master. In this page alone, it has the words of Liang Zhan, the name Liang Zhan. Zhan Hua Sun. It has the Shaolin Wing Chun Tang Yat. And it has the name of Yit Man. Over here, it is talking here. I mark it up here. Eternal Spring or Praise Spring, it is just a name. Even though it is not the right titles and proper words. As soon as you can market it and then so that everybody know, that's good enough. It doesn't matter whether it is proper name or not proper name, proper title or not proper title. You look at Bruce Lee, how many Wing Chuners are actually making money based on him? And how much the king of Kung Fu have the proper martial arts, proper Kung Fu? This thing by itself is saying that Wing Chun is a bastard. Okay? Here it pointed out here, you get the Leong Zhan, you have the Yip Man, and everybody, and here it lists up, this is the Shaolin Wing Chun Grandmaster Tang Yat, where they respect, and so forth. This has been in books for more than 10 years, if I'm not wrong. By Chinese culture, this is really bad, extremely bad. People look down on you, your Wing Chun. Now, have anybody go up there and say, hey, man, what is this? Of course, nobody said a thing. Even though they put their Leong Zhan name and all this name there, all the grandmaster name there, and they call you a bastard. So that's how the Kung Fu master in Asia look at Wing Chun and your grandmaster. Did anybody rectify this? Up to now, of course. You look around, people keep quiet in Asia. You like it or not, this is in history, okay? This is in the Chinese history. It is recorded down who wrote this book and all this thing. And the critic Wing Chun is, oh man, is Wing Chun, is a praise spring or eternal spring? It doesn't matter. As soon as you can market it and it's famous, that's good enough. It disregard of it is the real thing or it is bullshit. How serious is that? It is marked in the history by a Kung Fu grandmaster, a reputable one, a famous one. You want to talk about writing history? This is history. People in later will read that. This is Xi Xiaodong publicly saying that this is Wing Chun. Publicly saying that this is Wing Chun. Okay? This is what Xi Xiaodong publicly put it. So this is your Wing Chun. You want to be arrogant and blind? Why don't you just go and rectify with all these people, rectify with this grandmaster who wrote this book, and rectify this in public? Again, this is what they pull out. So they present the fact. In today's Chinese, young Chinese say that Bruce Lee said Wing Chun is a land swimming. So again, this is your Wing Chun history. And this is the Japanese NHK TV show. Putting your Yip Man movie there. And say this is a patriotism type of stuff. And the Chinese love it. So this is marked in the history. In your Chinese martial art cycle, in your Chinese MMA cycle, in the Chinese history, the young people looking into the history, exposed history cycle, in Japanese television. Is that good? Is that good? Who's going to rectify this? Can anybody just keep their eyes blind and then arrogant? Oh, belittle this, belittle that. You want to do that? You better know where Wing Chun stands. Okay? Now, this is real. This is real. They even pinpoint your so-called grandmaster. Did they give a damn to respect you? Of course not. They pinpoint you in public, in public, in public. This is history. Sorry, Wing Chun is not this movie. Wing Chun is not this movie. If you Wing Chuners do not clear out this nonsense, you know you are down the drain. Nobody respect you. Only you watching too much movie and thinking that you are good. You are somebody high up there. In fact, you are actually down in the ground. And are you keeping thinking about all this thing and yeah, keeping making more movie and then feel arrogant that, oh, I'm a Sifu, a Wing Chun, blah, blah, blah. This is how people respect you. How people respect you. What is the level of respect you got in the real world? Okay. So you say, well, Hendrik, so how to get out from this loophole? Well, I mean, anybody who have a correct right mind will say, oh shit, this is big problem now. People trust you, trust your grandmaster, trust whatever you have, trust Wing Chun based on Bruce Lee, and the Japanese saying that, oh yeah, Wing Chun, yeah, it is a movie stuff, patriot movie stuff. It's not this. So what can save you? Can Hendrik save you? No. Can any grandmaster like Liang Zhan or Tai Fa Ming or whatever heck your story can save you? If it can save you, people won't write this kind of stuff. Of course, people who wrote this kind of stuff based on evidence, or else they will not write it. Because it's a big deal when we talk about this in Chinese about things called by their right names and right titles and the proper words. It's a big deal. Of course, the person who wrote this thinking he know it all. But based on the decades of evidence he got, he's going to write this. So how are you going to get out from this? You want to be arrogant and blind and don't have technology, don't have nothing, and still be arrogant? Now, let me tell you what. The only thing you can get out from all this loop, all the big screw up and big insult and big step on you is the ancient writing. This is the writing of Xiu Lin Tao, 1850. Only this thing can save you. The reason why this person dare to write this is because all this from Liang Zhan to Yip Man and so forth, they do not know the existence of this thing. If they know, they will not be able to touch you. Same with Xi Xiaodong will not be able to touch you. Same with Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee cannot badmouth you too because of this. So you say, well, Hendrik, what is this? Is there the ancient writing, Chinese writing, what is significant? Do you know what is this? In Chinese, you heard about people say, oh, the Wing Chun Kun Kit. Wing Chun Kun Kit. Today's Wing Chun Kun Kit is full of it. Okay? This is the real Kun Kit. So what is the real Kun Kit? The real Kun Kit is like General Qi Ji Guang's writing, the classic in the military. Okay, so this is Qi Ji Guang, and this is within the writing, there's a drawing. So what is it? Then people will argue, oh, this is nothing, blah, 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 blah. That's why I say they are blind and arrogant. Do you know what is this? Do you know what is this? Like the Wing Chun Kung Fu and the Chi Chi Guang riding equivalent to today's today's world stuff? All of this thing, or the Chi Chi Guang's riding is equivalent to today's what? Pattern. Okay? Will you mess around with pattern today? So when you read this, the Wing Chun 1850s riding or quit, or the Chi Chi Guang classic, you are actually reading a pattern. Well, of course, if you are not the pro, you are not in the field, what the heck you know anyway? But then a rational people will learn. The same thing as one learn how to read a pattern. One learn how to understand the technology, especially those who will design new things, or who is looking at the competitors' technology. So it is like a US pattern, this stuff. And of course, in the pattern, there is prior arts, there is the details, abstract and the details, and the claim and the drawing and everything. So this drawing is like this drawing, okay? This thing is like the abstract, and there's prior art and so forth. That's how straightforward it is. It is not, oh, Wing Chun quit, hand issue from heart, and that's it. Sorry, it is not like that. You cannot take one phrase out from a pattern and then you just interpret whatever heck you want. It is not. You need to understand the entire thing. So hopefully I tell the world today, you want to get out from all this insult and belittle of Wing Chun, you better know this, how to read this pattern stuff. Okay, this is all pattern. Like today's pattern. It's like if somebody violating somebody's pattern there, you better know what the pattern is. And if you have the pattern on hand, nobody can touch you because this is yours. So the writing of 1850 Wing Chun is like this pattern. So you ask me, oh, how about the Wing Chun 1870s writing? Well, you look at that pattern, you can know about their technology. And obviously in that 1890s writing, which is writing about the 1870 Wing Chun, like today's four sets, do not have the technical and even prior arts. Now, look into this 1850s Wing Chun. The first thing is called Xiu Lim Tao, the essence of detailed training. So where is the prior arts? The prior art is from Mei Se Zhuang. It tells you things is from the details. Things, phenomenons or a system is grow up from details. That's why it is called Xiu Lin Tao, the essence of detailed trainings. That's why Wing Chun have the 6 core elements, have all those details. Now, this is the prior art. You can check it out. And like this, you put your spirit on your palm and your sleeves and your hand here. It is here. From the prior arts. Talking about the qi and the breathing. This is in the prior art. This is in the prior art. It's there, many locations. Okay, prior art. It is a pattern based on some prior art, and you can check it. This thing, bong. This is the prior arts from Chi Chi Guang. This thing, contract and expand, is from Shaolin Short Strike. Here. It's all prior arts. Okay? So here on, you need to understand the Chinese creed is like a pattern. You don't just go read one phrase and then you just interpret whatever you want. Like the past 50 years, 100 years, is all everybody interpret this, interpret that. Oh, my opinion, my philosophy, my concept, bullshit. It is a pattern. And because of you keeping doing those, my idea, my philosophy, my interpretations, my Wing Chun, you end up with this. People love the hell out of you. And it is in the history, in the book now, whatever right in the book is going to stamp cast in stone. That's the reality. So you want still to argue? Oh yeah, you know, oh, the ancient Chinese language is not significant. Don't argue with me. Go argue with those people who wrote books, who laugh at you in the public. See, will you be able to rectify whatever you're doing, or people see you through? Okay. So why bother? I wrote like this, Decoding Wing Chun, where everything right now is translated into sports science. What there is to show Xi Xiaodong and everybody in China. You want to talk, saying that Wing Chun is invalid? Even Bruce Lee, is Wing Chun land swimming? You better know this. Based on today's sports science, measurable like Olympic training. Okay? You want to talk about fighting? That's yesterday I shared with you in that video. Your technology, 1850, the BJJ technology, everybody's technology, you can link it up and see that whether they are consistent or not, and whether everybody have their uniqueness. It is this simple, technically. Okay? So whenever we think about the ancient Chinese writing, classic, think about it, it's like a pattern today. Then you cannot be wrong. And the proper thing, the real thing, you'll be able to prove it with science today. Okay? With Newton's law. That's why I wrote this. So why do I wrote all this thing? Why do I wrote all this thing? Especially these two books. What to tell the world, to rectify the world, saying that, hey, in the history, you guys can say Wing Chun like this, but we have evidence. This is what it is. based on science, based on multiple verifications, based on today's realities in martial arts verifications. So what to say more? So no grandmaster can say, oh, you're not based on this grandmaster, that grandmaster. Nobody give a damn. So I show you already from the TV, from the public release, from the books. Who cares? In fact, the people call you bastard. That's how serious it is. And of course, people don't know that all this is a pattern. That's why I wrote this book. This is the Qi Ji Guang's classic I wrote in this book. It is a pattern. You need to treat it like a pattern, all the technical terms. But you can see all the book out there, around there. It's writing this thing, it's like looking at this Qi Ji Guang classic like a philosophy, like the Tai Chi, even in the university. You can know that when you read that, you know that, oh my God, all these people have no idea what is going on. So this is what I like to share with you. Here on, you look at, as soon as you look at a proper ancient Chinese classic like the Qi Ji Guang or 1850's Wing Chun writing, you know that it is a classic. It is a pattern. And of course, there's a lot of BS, which is not a pattern. Like there are all kinds of the Tai Chi is Wu Ji, Wu Ji is Tai Chi, all this philosophy, Dao, blah, 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 blah. Those are not pattern. A pattern will tell you directly, what is it? What is the prior art? How is this work? What is this handling? If this is Wing Chun, it is down to the details. That's why I can tell you, down to the details. You want to have a strengthening training? How many type of that? What is the details of it? You want to have a recovery training? How many type of it? How many level of it? How can you prove it? Measure it if you have that. Data, evidence, proved by science is the bottom line. It's not me, Hendrik, I'm the grandmaster. Somebody even call me a cult. Well, if technology and science are cult, then what is this world is about? Well, what I can share with you, cold people, because their mentality is cold. That's why they call this thing is cold. But this kind of thing, you can show it to an Olympic trainer or MMA trainer to see whether is this scientific or not scientific. Does it applicable in today's world or not? So I like to share this with you because I am not going younger every year. You want to defend Wing Chun, you want to defend it this way. It's not that who is a grandmaster. People don't care for that. It's not like I have a bigger fish than you, I can beat you. People don't care for that. Do you have a legit stuff to show people? In this world, you better have a scientific proven style based on history and based on realistic stuff. You're not going to tell me those Wing Chun movie stuff is functionable, okay? Like, oh yeah, I have this train is this Wing Chun 4 sets, and I add some Western boxing. Well, how does that measure up with the BJJ? You practically can. You look at the history. If you just practice your 4 sets with your body mechanic that way, and then you have some Western boxing add in, can you face a BJJ trainer? Of course not. Why? Because their technology is much advanced than you. Not to mention, you don't even know that what is your pattern is about. But then it's all this arrogant. I am the grandmaster of Wing Chun. My Sifu is who. As I tell you, I show you just now in the book written in Asia, people trash you. Even Liang Zhan's name inside there. Okay? Now, who is the guy who stood up to against that? It's me. I wrote in the Chinese article that this is not right. You don't know Wing Chun. So instead of within Wing Chun, you are the big boss, blah, blah, blah. But when you face outward, everybody keeps quiet. So the Chinese have a term in the Qing dynasty, at the end of Qing dynasty. You say, 内斗内行, 外斗外行. When you play the politics within the Qing country, the Qing dynasty, within the court, you know, playing politics among the Qing, the Chinese, then you're expert. But when you go facing like the Japanese, the Westerner, then you totally have no idea what to do. That's what is very famous in the Chinese history. Can Wing Chun afford that? You're already this low now. The Chinese martial art grandmaster wrote a book, step you down this way with your grandmaster's name and everybody and call you bastard. You have Xi Xiaodong there making fun of you. You got this young Chinese exposing you, say, well, even Bruce Lee called Wing Chun is land swimming. And then you have the Japanese NHK TV saying that, oh, this is a patriotism movie, Yip Man movie. Where is Wing Chun put out there? Well, if you don't like it, you like that way, that's fine. But for me, I'm a Wing Chun descendant. I'm just one of it. I'm not a grandmaster. I not take those bullshit. My ancestor is not like that. I have the pattern. I have the pattern to show you that my grandmaster, my ancestor is not like that. I can prove it in today's science and in the reality of a fighting. From the ancient to today. Why should I buy all those nonsense bullshit? I'm just one of the Wing Chuners. And why should all those young Wing Chuners buy into those bullshit too? And why should I learn like everybody? You talk big inside there, you're arrogant and blind, belittle everybody, belittle your brother and sister, like living like a doo-doo bird living in the hole, but the entire world is laugh at you. Why do I have to live that way? So today I want to share with you. There's technology, there's pattern, there's a lot of things in the ancestor. The limit is sky. You have hundreds of thousands of Wing Chuners. Why don't you take it out and fly? Fly as far as you can. Instead of playing this blind and arrogant. Have no idea what is the real world. No idea what is the real Chinese culture. No idea on what is the real Chinese martial arts. No idea what is the real Chinese Wing Chun. So this is my my directions of going. You call me a cult, fine. And it's good that I'm in America today. This is a free speech world, and people can show what is the truth. If people want to follow, fine. If you have your own way of a belief, fine. but at least I show you what is the truth there. And it has to live in the history, cast in stone in the history. So the ancestor of Wing Chun, the young generation of Wing Chun, they have room to live, the ancestor being respected.